If your CV doesn't mention pounds saved, risks reduced, or projects delivered, you're basically handing recruiters trash. That's why silence needs your application. Now, it's time for you to stop being ignored and start landing interviews. I've spoken to recruiters, and one thing I figured out is they only review CVs for just 6 seconds. In fact, they scan CVs. So if in those 6 seconds they don't see value, numbers or results and clarity, they would move on. So certificates alone will not save you. And long paragraphs, that's not what you need, right? Proof is the only thing that works, and that's the only thing that would help you land the job. Now, if your CV looks like this, it's trash. And that's exactly why UK recruiters are ignoring you. So, let's get started. My name is Omomi Victoria Sampson, co-founder Amdari and a career pivot coach. In the last 8 months, I have helped over 1,000 plus tech professionals across the UK gain real-world hands-on experience, and they've successfully transitioned into high-demand roles in the UK. I've also reviewed over 1,000 CVs and conducted over 300 candidate interviews, and trust me, I know exactly what recruiters want. So let's get straight into the video of the day. You can send over 100 applications in a week, but if your CV screams generic and desperate, you would never get a call back. Let me show you what I mean by a perfect CV and how to rewrite it into what UK recruiters actually respond to. Step 1, you need to make sure that your CV calls out the problem. Here's what most immigrants' CV look like. A CV with home address. That's so unnecessary. Recruiters only care about your city. Some even have headshots. Are you applying to a casting call? Are you an actor? No, right? So your CV does not need your headshot. Or a boring summary that says hardworking, detail-oriented. Every CV has that and they get rejected. You don't want to say that. Now, job description that you copied and pasted from Google, that is terrible. 0 results, 0 impact, too generic. Everybody's doing that. Now, skill section also full of buzzwords. We already know what everybody would typically type. I'm a team player. I used Microsoft Word. Proficient in Microsoft Excel. That's not extra. That's not more. You need to be more. You need to show more. Recruiters don't care about all those buzzwords because they aren't differentiators. This isn't a CV. It's a word done. And recruiters in the UK would not have time for that. So let's get to step 2. How to rewrite your CV. You see, all of those things I mentioned in step 1, we're ditching it. We're moving into how to fix your CV. Originally, if your CV says you're responsible for analyzing data and preparing report, you are going to get rid of that and rewrite it to say analyzed sales data for 3 regions, identified 200k pounds in lost revenue and cut churn by 12%. Perfect. Result, metrics, right? Recruiters don't want to know what you were responsible for. They just want proof that you made money, saved time, and solved problems. So you need to make sure your CV says that. There is another one where people would say worked with team on software implementation. That is too basic. You need to say something like led a 4-person team to implement a new CRM, reducing customer response time by 40%. You were detailed, you were specific. There is another one that you would see where, this one is particular to cybersecurity professionals. Monitored company networks for threats. Doesn't say much. Too basic, too generic. You want to rewrite it to say deployed MFA and phishing simulations that reduced successful attack by 73%, protecting £5 million in financial assets. That's perfect. Recruiters want measurable risk reduction and financial protection. Then another one where people would say I'm proficient in using Windows 95, Lotus Notes, and typing 600 WPM. You need to delete that. Recruiters see this and think outdated, irrelevant. Keep only current in-demand tools like Python. Please, very importantly, keep Python, Power BI, AWS, Azure, very, very relevant in-demand tools, okay? Not the irrelevant ones that I mentioned above. And some people would go as far as putting things like married, Christian, enjoy swimming. Nobody cares about that. Delete and ditch. You need to say stuff that are very, very specific to what you're looking for. Action and measurable results. Now, moving on to step 3, structure that works. What's that structure that's perfect for your CV? Here's the structure your CV needs to actually get callback in the UK. Headline, which is equal to pitch, or headline and pitch. Now, one line at the top saying what you do and the value that you bring to the table. For example, for a cybersecurity analyst, you can say something like cybersecurity analyst helping financial firms cut fraud losses by 70%. Straight to the point. And also, you need to have experience in results. Every bullet point equals action plus results. An example is built an automation pipeline that saved £300 or £3,000 annually by reducing manual data entry by 80%. Then the proof section, you need that to have projects that you've done and portfolio link. Now, an example is Amdari portfolio website. You can use that, right? It's perfect. It's free. You can use it to host all of the projects you've worked on. You can also use GitHub for your data projects and the likes, right? The beautiful thing about the Amdari portfolio website is that you can be a cybersecurity professional and use it, data scientist and use it, data engineer or PMBA. You don't need to go use Notion. You don't need to go use all of those. Amdari portfolio website is rich for every career path. So use it to house all the projects you've worked on. It's perfect for you, okay? Just to mention this one last thing, your CV isn't a life story. It's a sales pitch. So if your CV is still a 3-page life story, stop it. Stop it right now. Rewrite it into a 1-page proof document that screams this person has experience, this person has delivered results, and this person is exposed. That's the only CV UK recruiters actually respond to. So if you have no proof of work experience to add on your CV and you're wondering, Amomi, you're saying so much, proof, experience, yada yada, project, impact, UK, blah, blah, blah. How do I get it? Simple, Amdari. I'm going to be adding the link to speak to one of their experts on how you can get started on building experience that actually matter in the UK, that recruiters want to see, experience that would help you get the job. So click on that link and book a clarity session with your experts so you can speak to them on how to get started and gain experience that you can add to your CV. And if you want me to break down more on how to actually structure your CV, please subscribe because I'll be sharing more tips in subsequent videos. And trust me, you don't want to miss any part of that because your goal is to get a job in the UK. Then Amdari is the platform that you should be following. So hit the subscribe button, make sure you share with your friends that have taken tech courses, and I'd love to see you in my next video. Ciao.